I'm live. Okay. Alright, so this is for the future people watching this, not necessarily the live streamers. Hey guys, Courtney Mermaid here. This is going to be this week's Tail Talk Tuesday. I'm just going to take a sec here because I got to find it on Twitter so that I can share it with myself. So if I'm not talking for a second, I will be talking shortly. Today I'm going to be discussing a broken monofin situation for one of my patrons. And I'm also going to be answering a question about Velcro. So if that sounds interesting, that's going to be the main portion of this, and then whatever happens when you guys start jumping in. So hopefully it's here somewhere, which it is. Sweet. Let's go make sure that I'm actually working, shall we? Oh, I am. Okay, excellent. Oh, that's really kind of scary. Mute. That's the thing here. Mute. Okay, excellent. Well, I know my mic's working. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Great. Okay, so this is gonna be awesome. I've got oh, hi, you're the Mexican. Hi guys. Thank you for joining me. I'm super pumped. If there's a delay in my answers to your questions, it's just because it takes a second before it shows up off my camera and over here. So bear with me if I'm sniffling. It's also because it's allergy season here in Vancouver and everything is making me just water and itch. So I apologize for this kind of stuff that I'm going to be doing here. Excellent. So I've got a couple of people I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for Emily, and I'm hoping I'm going to pronounce this right. Eva? Is it Ava or Eva? Anyways, I've got two questions that I want to answer for you guys, but I'm going to wait to see if they pop into the chat. In the meantime, for you guys who are new, who might not know what this is Tail Talk Tuesday. So any mermaid related questions you guys have, tail making questions, swimming questions, accessory making, just pretty much anything mermaid related that you guys want to ask, now's the prime time to do this. Of course, if you're watching this after the fact, please just feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I will add it to my list. I have a list for next week's Tail Talk Tuesday. I do these every Tuesday. I hope I'm like lined up okay. Okay. Hopefully that's all good. I also need to make sure I put this up on my Patreon. Yes, so for anybody interested, if you have really in-depth related questions, things that, you want to shoot me an email type situation, like really detailed, check me out on Patreon. For my patrons, I am very inclined to give you guys the full expanse of my knowledge, so like tailored to what your needs are. So this though was a good question about a broken monofin and how to possibly fix it, and I've been kind of brainstorming over some of the ways that could be accomplished. I see I'm getting some comments and questions here. I just want to post this quick. Come say hi. Publish now. Okay, great. Now, what are we talking about here? Accessories. Yeah, we talked about this a bit last week for mermen. Well, there's a lot of different ways you could probably take it. I know there's quite a few mermen who will wear like bracers, those, what are they called? Not circlet? Those, they come down like jeweled kind of crown type situation. You could rock a trident, like get yourself a really cool trident. That'd be pretty cool. Bracers. I know some guys wear belts. There's one who wears like a piece of body armor that kind of comes up, and then a strap that comes around the back, and that's kind of fun. You can get creative. Like, try and think if you were, really for real, and you were living out in the ocean, what's something that you might like to have, if you're going to defend yourself from sailors or, sharks, or would you have, armor? Are you royalty? Maybe have a crown? Like, I love to think of the backstory of mermaiding and all that sort of stuff. Like, there's a whole story for the colors and everything that I picked for my tail. It's fun to kind of think about, so where you live, what's your culture, and that kind of thing, and sort of bring that into it a little bit. Like, I'm from the West Coast, so like this is pretty much, if you look out my window those are the colors you see, greens and blues. It's just everywhere is green and blue. So I have a smaller fluke because I'm in colder waters, and if I was a really for real mermaid, I would have a smaller fluke because it takes less energy to heat that whole thing. So there's all the thinking happening there. Other accessories though, you know, you could go the pirate route too if you wanted to try something, you know, maybe get a hat. I mean, you know, for swimming purposes, you might not have as easy a time like with headdresses or things like this, but yeah, you can really do pretty much anything you can think of. Like, you know, be creative and think outside the box. It doesn't always have to be like, oh, well, everybody's doing this, so I have to do this. Like, I really enjoy when I see people trying new things and really trying to shake it up. It's pretty fun. You know, I keep it pretty simple for myself. My fanciest top is just a shell. It's just a shell top, and it's not even that. I mean, it's a little bit fancy, but it's not really. And that's usually I just make a matching bikini top to match the scales of the tails that I already have. Whoop. I'm moving things. Ah. But yeah, so I'm excited to talk about the thing. I might get into it a little bit, and then yeah, if she shows up. So the question was about monofins, and oh, what do we got here? Oh, I'm not sure what you mean. So I know you're referring to Raina, obviously, Raina the Halifax Mermaid, and you said, I'm not sure what you mean by being blinded in the tail. Oh, do you mean like blinded by pain? Because she has hip pain and extra pain in certain areas. Okay, so yeah, swimming in mermaid tails, guys. It's lots of fun. So I can't speak on behalf of Raina. I do know that she has some chronic issues and some things that she has openly expressed on her YouTube and everything, and she's been very out there with. So she has, I can just speak from my own experiences. My swimming in a mermaid tail is a lot different than swimming with just your legs or your flippers or whatnot. Like, when you're in there, you're in there. It is tight. Like, my tails, I'll be posting a video, I don't know if it'll go up next week or the following week, of how I actually get into this. It's tight, and mine's fabric, so you have to imagine for hers is silicone, and her tail must weigh a ton. And I think people don't really realize just how hard it actually is. There's this saying that, now I can't think of who this woman was that said this now. If you know who it was, you can put the name in there. It was in a YouTube interview, and she said that the biggest part of being a mermaid is being really, really uncomfortable, but looking like you're totally comfortable. And that is such a true thing. And I think we all experience it from time to time. Like, yesterday I was at the pool and I hadn't been in a couple, I think like 2 weeks I hadn't been swimming. Just life gets in the way and things come up and whatnot. Like, and I had foot cramps. Like, oh my goodness, foot cramps. Like, I get them so bad, you guys, that my toes actually contort and like bend sideways and like under each other, and you can feel it happening in the Monofin even though I'm wearing socks. And oh my goodness, it hurts so bad, and there's nothing I can do about it except for breathe through the pain. That's key. So if you're in your tail and you're experiencing something, obviously making sure that your mertender or whoever's with you, or lifeguard, somebody knows that you're having a problem, so that way if you actually do have a serious problem and start going under, that somebody knows what's going on. So I'll wave, because we have sort of like, if I wave like this, that's sort of Eric knows to come over and just check on me and make sure I'm okay. And I'll usually he doesn't do anything, but he'll just stay with me and I'll just breathe through it. I keep him there just in case I need somebody to lean on. But yeah, there's like really nothing I can do about the toe cramps. But I see now that you meant like binded in the tail, so actually bound is what you meant. Yeah. So once you're in your tail, like you're in your tail, and if you're doing a gig or something, it's not an option to get out of it like quickly. I mean, you don't really want to ruin the magic for kids, so that's really important. You pretty much just suck it up and just hang on for dear life and just hope that you don't start sweating and crying, and then it's all going to be fine. But sometimes it can be really, really uncomfortable. I have a few injuries that I deal with, and sometimes it causes me a great deal of unhappiness and discomfort, but I try to remember, like, okay, just, you know, you gotta breathe through it. But the toe cramps are by far the worst part of mermaiding. I will say that, like, hands down, the actual worst. If there was a way to fix it, and honestly, this is what it is. You wanna know what it is? This is what it is. Look at this. I'm not sponsored, so I can say this. This is a stupid design, okay? This is a really good monofin for a lot of reasons, but this is also a really bad design choice, okay? Because first of all, I don't know about you, but like, my pitties don't like this. Like, do you know how squished my feet are in this? And this is the real kicker, okay? This is a teen fin. This is for a teenager. Guys, I'm almost 5'10", and I have size 11 feet. And I fit in this, okay? I fit in it, and it's still loose, so I don't know. I had, now who was it that posted about this? I think, was it Jaffa? I can't, who were you that told me about this? About a different solution, for this. Oh, so do you mean, so Maria, do you mean how much are my tails or how many I have? I'm not sure if you mean how much they cost or how many actual tails I have. So I don't know. I'll just wait a second, see if you respond. If not, I can just dive in. I have what do I have now? I have something like 12 or 13 different tails or more. I only have, these two are the two that I currently swim in. This one's still wet a bit from last night. And I have two more that are in production back here. So one that's being made just for my patrons. Oh, how much? Okay, I'll answer that in 1 second. And then one that's being made for you guys to, oh, this is the Patreon one. This is the one for you guys, so. How much? Okay, so, yeah. Well, to sell one of these guys, I would estimate probably between 12 and 1,400 Canadian as like a base starting point. For what it costs me to get all the pieces, okay, so there's 3 different kinds of paint, and then there's 3 other different kinds of paint, okay? Then there's a few thousand sequins, all right? Then I gotta buy the vinyl, then the fabric, and I have to import most of this stuff from the States, so I get dinged with all kinds of extra fees, which is just amazing. And I try to do as much of this locally as I can, but there are some things, like my fabric has to come from the States, my fins come from the States, and that kind of thing. So, and so do the sequins. The sequins also have to come from the States. It's a very specific sort of setup that I have here. And then you also have to take into account how long they take to make me. They take a long, long time. My soul pretty much, my blood, sweat, and tears pretty much go into each of these. There are moments like when I make each one where I'm like, did I really, really do this to myself again? I've made so many of these now. I have 2 more under my desk. I've got 2, no, I've got 3 under here. 2, 3 under here? 2 in the hallway and 2 here. I honestly don't know what I was thinking sometimes, but it's fun. It's good. All right, here we go. So yeah, I will actually have pricing up on my website shortly, as in over the next couple of months, because I am planning on selling some of these, and also my regular spandex. And there's another secret project that I'm working on. So stay tuned. You can check me out, VancouverMermaid.com, and updates and stuff will go up on the blog portion of my website, so you can check that out. Now, the next question from Snoopy here. You were going to do mermaiding for leg exercise, but I do not want injury after I heard from... Okay, so let's address this situation here, okay? So, Raina the Halifax Mermaid posted a video, and it was essentially in response to some really unfortunately very rude comments that she had received on a video of another mermaid of hers, okay? And the thing that you have to know is that knees are a thing, okay? And Snoopy, if you want to do this for strengthening and that kind of thing, it's totally doable, okay? You take it very slow, and when you design your tail, or when you get a tail maker to make it for you, what you need to do is get a monofin that has foot pockets that are not, okay, I really should be promoting this, but that are not like this. What you want to do is you want to get a monofin that has, and not necessarily this one, because this one's quite large, but that has 2 separate foot pockets, okay? So that way, you have some proper space. You also want to take into consideration that your tail should have a little bit of extra give. So in this area, the typical way that tails are made, in the knees and in the ankles, they're made extremely, extremely tight, okay? Now this is to help sell the illusion that there are no ankles and that there are no knees. Now, there are ankles and there are knees. What you gonna do? I've learned over the years, like this one here, you can actually see, I don't know if you guys actually can, here we go. The size difference, how narrow this is here and how much wider it is here. I've learned that for me, I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of that snug fit for the comfort. Because where you're gonna get all of your knee pain from is not necessarily from the dolphin kick, because I have, believe me, I've got a knee that pops out like this, okay? I've got between the foot cramps, the toe cramps, the back, the thing, the neck, the thing. I'm a disaster, okay? And it took me a long time to get to where I am now, but the trick is that you do it really slowly. You ease yourself in, you make sure that your tail is snug enough that it's not going to cause you all kinds of drag. So a little snugger here, right? And a little bit in the bum can be a little snugger, and in the thighs, but keep a little bit more space between your knees. I would say maybe 1 inch to 2 inches, okay? Just that way, you know, if you are being brave and you want to try something like a back flip underwater, that's where you're going to have the most amount of pain. And trust me, it burns. If you've never done a backflip in a mermaid tail before, don't you do that alone, because so help me goodness, I will come through the computer and that's it. You have a buddy and you do it in steps, like test it into see, and always practice with your monofin first, because instinctively you're going to want, like if these are your legs now, your knees when you come back are going to want to separate, but your tail doesn't let you. Okay, and that causes an intense pull all along here, all up here, and all down into your feet, and especially under here and in your toes. And that's where the kind of pain comes from. So it's also like a case by case. So everybody's going to be different. In Raina's video, what she was trying to say, I think, I mean, I watched it, of course, but it's just that people need to give us a little bit of slack and realize that it's just basically the trolls, right? People are going to always have an opinion and say, well, mermaids don't have knees. Well, excuse me, have you met a really for really real mermaid before? You don't know. Who could have knees? They could. Have you seen that motion? If we can do it, then maybe it's okay that we have knees, right? So that's a whole thing. There's a lot of people who feel one way or the other. I see there are other comments and questions I'm gonna get. I want to finish this thought. I am actually gonna do a video in response to this, because this is a thing that comes up and it is a thing that I get asked a lot. How to swim and not use your knees, how to swim properly. Uh-oh, do we have another? Oh no, we got a poopy diaper. Oh, I'm sorry that you don't feel that, you know, that's too bad. I'm gonna go through and make sure we're not having any other poopy diapers in the crowd here. Okay. Oh, that's terrible. You're really inappropriate. Sorry about that, guys. That happens every once in a while. So chances are this person's gonna come back, so just be aware that my chat might be a little bit of a situation right now. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. The pain and the injuries. So it is going to be on a case-by-case basis. Definitely always check with your doctor first. Yeah, see, exactly. Mermaids could be real. We have no idea. We've only explored like 5% of the ocean. And speaking of trolls, right? Like as soon as I start talking about the trolls, they all just start popping up. That's awesome, guys. Let us have our fun. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm helping you guys. I'm answering questions. I'm doing a positive thing. Let's all just keep it nice and happy and positive. But check with your doctor. try it with just a monofin first, or even just flippers. See how that motion feels. Start building up the strength. There's also other exercises and things you can do outside of the water to help build up towards that. Like, I used to talk to my physiotherapist about what it is I could do to help get me to my goal faster, because I just want to heal. Let's go, you know? And so maybe, you know, seeking out a physiotherapist or somebody who might be able to point you in the right direction, that might be helpful. I don't want to give any like medical advice or specific stretches or anything, because your situation is going to be different than my situation, so that's a whole thing. I hope that answered it a little bit though, but do it slowly and have a buddy with you is my biggest, those are my two biggest points. And wear socks in your monofin. That always helps. Good, okay. What's my favorite mermaid? Oh my goodness. My favorite mermaid. Good, I'm glad that's good. Wow, okay, I don't know if you can see behind me. I have a lot of Little Mermaid stuff in the background. I'm actually thinking of doing a proper, like, collection video of it. I don't know if that's something that you guys would want to see, but one of these days, of course, Ariel's probably my favorite Little Mermaid. I like a lot. I've seen so many mermaid movies, some of them not very good. Obviously, Madison was a huge, like, from Splash, was a huge inspiration for me, but my favorite would be Ariel. She inspired my artistic career in the animation industry, and she also inspired me to do this, making the mermaid tails. So I would have to say, I know it's probably like the most generic answer ever, but the Little Mermaid's probably my my favorite mermaid. Yeah. Favorite mermaid film. This is don't judge me, okay? You're gonna judge. You're gonna have this urge to judge me right now, but you're just not gonna do it. The Little Mermaid 2. I don't know why. I really have no explanation, I'm sorry. But The Little Mermaid 2 is actually one of my favorites. And Splash, of course, is another one of my top favorites. You know, one that most people haven't heard of, hang on, I need a sip here. Okay, is, and this one's just cheesy as all goodness, but, what's it, it's, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and I think it's like, it has actually a really terrible title. I think it's like Sabrina Goes Down Under or something, like, can we be a little bit more questionable? But she's basically in Australia, I think, and there's mermaids, and it was like a TV special I saw once a million years ago, and I loved it. I loved it. There was a merman for once. So good. I mean, it was a little ridiculous, but it was a little over the top, but it was just such a cute show. And but yeah, The Little Mermaid 2, I don't really know why specifically, but I always feel like I can kind of relate to Melody, and I was like, I just want to be in the ocean. Let's just do this. Can we just go? Please? Okay. Yeah. So, what other questions do you guys have for me? I want to know all the things. And then I'll probably talk a bit about what is happening with my monofin. And I only just noticed this, actually, after I received this comment. The question was, what to do when your monofin breaks. And I've not ever heard of anybody having it break before. But yeah, I wanna see if she comes on in a little bit, though. So I'd like to do that live. It would be kind of fun. But if not, at 8:30, I will just dive into it. Did you like that? Dive into it. Awesome. Yeah. Do you guys want a sneak peek of my tail and where it's at so far? I think I might give you guys pirates and mermaids. Always pirates and mermaids. I am a huge believer in pirates and mermaids. I have a little collection of I've got Jack's ring. It's like one of my favorite things in the world. I love this so much. Yep, I have a few other pirate things. They're kind of heavy though, so I'm not gonna, but oh, here. Yes, all the good stuff right here. Oh yeah, I've heard that, oh, Eric just ran this out to me, hang on. Yeah, Jack for the win. Love this guy, he should stay out here. My little merman. Yeah, I've heard that the FinFun ones can break. I've not ever seen. How did it? Can you explain how it broke? Did it just crack or like chip? Or I mean, when people say it broke, I'm envisioning like the whole thing just snapped in half or like split or I'm not really sure. Like, yeah, I've seen people break other monofins like this one, the little wee kitty one, because this is never a way to cut a monofin. Don't do this. Why? You know what happens? The pressure caught when you swim, so you swim and they fold this way, you swim up and it goes like this, and this, a lot, especially with kids who are really rough and it's bending on the pool floor and it's doing stuff, it'll just split, just right up the top. So if you're ever gonna cut, what was that? Oh, did you lock JJ in the, oh God, sorry, that was one of the dogs that just barked. I'm like, whoa, what was that? But yeah, if you ever decide to cut one of these guys, obviously this was cut for Bluefish, because he's got a huge fluke, but never cut it to a point. Cut it so that you have like this, like a bend like that, so that it's just, because the pressure, man, it'll just split that, just whoop. Like here's a company that got it right, okay? Here is a company that got it right, all right? This is my favorite thing in the world, and if they had an adult one, I would be all over this. This is too little. I can actually fit my feet in here, but it's just too small for me on the heel portion. But this is such a mwah, so good. So good. Okay, here we go. There's a pirate, all about pirates. It's a long, nice. Magic Tails? Now which ones are those ones again? Let me, just got monofins like just everywhere. Okay, Magic Tails. Why does that ring a bell? Magic Tails. Is that magictail.net? Is that the one? Oh, I remember those. Yeah, I've not ever tried them. You know who I think has, though? Faith on the Base is another YouTuber and another Vancouver mermaid. I think she might have. I'm going to put a link to her, if I can find her, super quick. I think I've referenced her in all 3 of these live streams, you guys. It's pretty funny, but she's awesome. And her, she does reviews on mermaid tails, and a lot of, like, she does some swimming videos and all kinds of good stuff, so you should check her out. I cannot find my spot now. Here, just take a look-see around her page, and maybe you'll, okay, so it started cracking, finished breaking. It broke between the heel part and the inner part of the, that's so weird. So like it broke from not, obviously this is not the same fin, but it broke like that? That's kind of crazy. Wow. See, what's happening with this one is, if you look carefully, it's starting to separate along here, and my patron Emily had hers has actually come apart, like all here. Oh, you mean it broke like that way? Oh, I wonder if it's just from the flex. I wonder if that's what it is. Because that would make more sense than it being that way. Yeah, crazy. Man, monofin makers, guys, they gotta do a thing. But I think what I'm gonna do for this, and Emily, if you see this later on, I'm probably gonna try and head it off. I'm either gonna try using E6000 glue or just straight crazy glue. I'm also thinking of actually emailing Finis. I like Finis. I think Finis just sounds better, but anyway, to see if they have a solution for this, or if they have a suggestion. Cause yeah, but this is the glue that I use for, excuse me, this is the glue. This is the glue that I use for everything. I love this stuff. Have the novel books about mermaids. Do you mean what books I have about mermaids? I have a few. They're all put away right now. Yeah, I actually don't have that many. I usually listen to things on audiobook. So, do you think they're best for fabric tails? Okay. Elizabeth, this is the question of the day. What monofin do I think is best for fabric tails? Okay, so brace for impact. This is going to be serious right now. What I think. Okay. Oh, hello. Welcome to the live stream. The thing you want to think about with a monofin is a couple of things. The reason I don't really have too much of a problem with my monofin like cutting through is because the design of my tails is such that I actually use Velcro at the base, so my monofin doesn't actually touch anything. It just sits right in this little corner, and it just sits in there. And so for me, it's actually beneficial that I have a little bit more for it to hook onto. The thing that people have a problem with, and I know a lot of tail makers right now are actually supplying people with little neoprene like sockets to stick over the corners of their monofins to avoid, because this is sharp. Like when I first got this, I actually sanded this down, and I have to do it periodically because this is actually a sharp edge, right? Like what a win. But this will just cut right through it. So I think the one that's done the least amount of damage to any spandex tails I've probably had would probably be this guy, but it's also, again, I really like rounded off and sanded down. So this is the Finis Rapid. They also, I don't know which one they discontinued, but they discontinued either the Wave or the Tempo. But yeah, anyways. But they look just like this one. But this is a good one because it's a bit customizable. You can file down some of these, and you can file down the edges. Overall, it's really going to depend on how you actually construct your tail. Yeah, I think if you want to make it so that it lasts a little bit longer, making yourself little covers for the tips of your monofin is really going to be what makes any monofin usable. The only ones I've tried right are this guy, and this is the Aquarius, by the way, and the Finis Rapid. I have tried a competitive level monofin, but that was not for me. I have too many foot problems and knee problems, so that just wasn't a good option for me. Okay, what would you recommend for a starter tail to use for from a company? To use from a company. Oh, of the big companies? FinFun's probably your biggest, like, name brand. And, I mean, until I start selling mermaid tails again, which is gonna happen, then I would just be come to me. I'll hook you up. But, for now, I'd probably say, of the ones that I've heard of, though I cannot say that I've not used one of them, before, so I couldn't say for sure, but FinFun, of the tails that I see out there, though they do have some plus and some minus, are probably the way to go for FinFun. And if you just literally Google FinFun, it's like the first thing that comes up. Pretty much just mermaid tail making, and it just comes up everywhere. Ooh, that book actually sounds really interesting. I'm gonna make myself a thing so I can take that for later. Thank you, Snoopy, for the suggestion. I will just put it here so I can save it for later. Email to self. Book. Rec. Send. Awesome. Man, it's getting warm in here. Oh, hi, Mermaid Rhonda. Thanks for stopping by. Talking about swimming related injuries, ways to avoid that. So swimming related injuries. Okay, you want to know where injuries come from? I'm going to tell you where all the injuries come from. So let's use yesterday as an example, okay? And I was totally hydrated. I had all the vitamins. I was good to go. And I pushed myself too hard. And I know that I shouldn't. I have like chronic inflammation in my feet and in the joints in my feet. So I just have like, I live with constant just discomfort and pain. My feet constantly twitch and it's wonderful. But pushing yourself beyond what you're comfortable doing. So I really like to encourage people, though it is really fun to swim fast and to go really quick in a mermaid tail and do all these things right away. You have to realize that it's a skill, just like anything else, and you have to kind of build yourself up to it. Like, you don't just, you've never done yoga before, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna do the splits. Well, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work. So the things to do to avoid injury, I would say, now of course, take my recommendation with a grain of salt. I only have the knowledge that I know. So always check with your doctor, whoever your, naturopath or whoever you're seeing. You got a physiotherapist or family physician, whatever. Check with them first. So I only know what I know through my years of experience, okay? Always be hydrated. Okay, that's a key. Always make sure that you've had, you got your potassium levels are up, your magnesium levels are up. It's taken me some time to figure out what my good magnesium balance is, because magnesium can sometimes upset your tummy a little bit, or at least it does in me anyways. You can bring coconut water with you. Coconut water is great. It's kind of like nature's equivalent of Gatorade. I don't really like Gatorade, so coconut water is really good. Make sure that you're well rested, that you aren't injured when you're going to go swimming. So, I am really bad for this. Like I said, I've got chronic problems with my feet. And some days I'll just be so frustrated that I'll just go to the pool anyways and just say, you know what, we go. Yes, bananas. Bananas are good too. That's a good one to keep in mind. Just grab a banana on your way out, lots of water, and you're good to go. To avoid like serious injuries, you want to do the common sense things, right? So when you get to the pool, you have a good relationship with your lifeguards. I try to be really respectful. If it's a new lifeguard who I haven't seen before, I of course have to have a certification for my place where I swim. I'm pointing to it back here, but you can't see it. It's on the wall back there. I have a little wallet card. I'll go and I'll be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I have somebody with me, an assistant. But just so you're aware, and they're usually really good about it. Just have a quick powwow. You get in. Make sure you warm up first, right? If you've got any stretching you want to do a quick lap of the pool without your tail, that kind of thing, depending on what your circumstances are. But just making sure that you don't push yourself, okay? Never hold your breath for longer than you feel comfortable and calm doing, okay? Like, I know it's great to want to have a really long breath hold, and every mermaid should be able to hold her breath for 5 minutes, and oh my goodness, no. My personal best is 1:30, and even then, that's like, and I do that with like supervision, okay? So if you want to do like free diving is a thing, maybe join a club or get a group. Maybe you can get an actual professional to instruct you, but don't ever just like be in the pool with nobody there, all alone at your complex's pool, and just hold your breath for as long as you can until you black out and we never hear from you again, because that is like, mermaiding is such a new thing, and when you are hitting the pool, you are not only just representing yourself, you're actually representing us as a whole. So it's really important to think, like, just take a second. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. If somebody's like, oh, can you pose like this, or can you do this, and if that little voice says, you listen to it, okay? And if somebody gives you a hard time, you send them my way, okay? It's no nonsense. Never do anything that you're not comfortable doing. If you don't feel good about it, you don't have to do it. Mermaiding is a unique experience for everybody, and you can take from it what you would like to. Okay, so if you want to learn how to do tricks, you start slow. Maybe you start without the full tail, just the monofin, maybe just flippers. You wear your goggles, you maybe get the earplugs and a nose clip. Like, I always wear a nose clip. I actually wear it like a ring, so that way if I'm doing something, I can just pop it on real quick, pop it off, and kids never notice it. I also wear clear earplugs. And the next question here, which is also going to be about safety, did I see it? Opening your eyes underwater. Okay, so this is another good one, Fernando, thank you. Opening your eyes underwater. Now, this is a fun one. And do this at your own risk, because there is bacteria, and chlorine is not meant to go in your eyes. Same with salt water, and if you're swimming in a lake, there's a whole bunch of other unique issues surrounding that. But some of the tips that I use when you're first learning, so I'm just checking to make sure, because I had a troll earlier. I just want to make sure. I am reading your comments, but I'm going to just do these kind of one at a time, get the whole thing out there. And what was I saying now? I was talking about something. Oh, eyes. That's what it was. You can get an eye gel that you can put in your eyes to kind of coat this. There's a lot of mermaids who've done a lot of like research and things. I actually learned about this through one of Raina the Halifax Mermaid's videos. If you check out her channel, you just Raina Mermaid, she's the first thing that comes up. In one of her So You Want to Be a Mermaid series, I believe is what the series is called. She talks about specifically about eye care, and we'll talk to you about all of the different aspects regarding that. But that was actually a tip that I got from her, so shout out to Raina Mermaid for the awesome information, because boy was that useful. A couple of drops of the gel, it blurs your eyes right up. You can't see squat, but in the water, oh, it feels so much better. Not for like hours on end, but for a good portion of my swim last night, I was thinking it's like butter, just so good. You don't want butter in your eyes, I'm not kidding. But it felt a lot better. Then when you get out of the pool, you get yourself some of those tears. You can also get like an eye wash to rinse out your eyes. You should always rinse out your eyes after you've been in the water and that kind of thing. And, but yeah, don't do the open eyes all the time. Wear goggles, and especially if you're at a new pool that you haven't been to before, I usually know, I can count in my head how long it takes me to get from one side of the pool to the other side of the pool, or to do a little lap, so that way I know roughly, and I always keep, if I sense I'm getting close to the wall, just pop that hand out so I don't smack. Now tips for actually doing it, because this was a hurdle, okay? My mom used to give me such grief for this. I say my mom's the original Vancouver mermaid because she was way into this before I was, okay? So when you do it, if it makes you scared, okay, so you got your face in the water, you can just practice in the bathtub, right? Just breathe in before you go underwater, calm your mind, and just, as you're kind of just thinking out, just open your eyes. And you only have to do it for a second, and then you can close your eyes right away again. But it's going to feel different depending on where you swim. Salt water is going to feel I can't open my eyes in the salt water we have here because it's far too polluted. And we usually have water advisories, which is really unfortunate. The water in my bathtub is eh. The pool water just burns, but what are you going to do there? But also, don't... where did I get to? Okay, here we go. Don't push yourself too far with that either. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a scary story, okay? So I was swimming, and I was swimming for about 2 hours, and I didn't take a break, and I didn't rinse out my eyes, and when I got home, I actually lost my sight for something like 4.5 hours, give or take, okay? And I lived alone at the time, and I got home, so I got dropped off, I went upstairs, I was like, oh, I'm feeling a little funny. And I went to rest on the couch for a minute, and all of a sudden, like a white cloud just over my eyes, like a haze. I couldn't see anything. I've never been so scared in my life. And at that time, it wasn't like I didn't have my phone handy. And I couldn't find my phone. Oh my gosh, but I found the fridge, and I found an ice pack. And I grabbed the ice pack, and I'm feeling around, like, you know, like this. And I get back to my couch, and I just passed out on the couch. I just slept for a few hours, and by the time I came to, I kind of looked and I was like, oh my gosh, that was like 4 hours that I was just like gone. And it was a little bit better, but man alive, guys, take care of your vision, because that was one of the scariest moments I've ever had as a mermaid. And I've had a few scary like spasms and things that have happened to me that have been quite scary, but that was by far the vision is important, guys. Okay, yes, yoga is hard, bananas are good. Here we go. I'm making my way down the thing. Okay, fabric paint is so expensive. Yes, it is. You know what? Fabric paint is hella expensive. It's horrible. But the stuff that I use, let me just hang on. Let me find you the stuff that I use, because the stuff that I use is so good, you guys. It's just the best. Here we go. Okay, so... Ta-da! So here are the paints that I use. This is Permaset Aqua. And the thing is, you kind of get what you pay for. So yes, it's expensive, but this is the stuff. This, like, I mean, and it speaks for itself, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be, like, cocky or anything. I'm just saying that you could probably, like, pre-dye fabric beforehand using a different fabric dye, and maybe then just do the scales. Like this. So this is Lumiere. This is Lumiere fabric paint. Love this stuff too. So this is what I use for the scales. Not necessarily this this color. This was actually an accent that I did down the sides, just because it's a lot more durable, I find, over the long term getting scratched. Like, this holds its color really well in the chlorine water, but that's the other thing. Cheaper brands of paint might not hold as well in the water. So typically, I try to find these on sale, but they never go on sale. But if they ever do, I stock up. But they also come in the big tubs. So I get my white like this because I do use quite a bit of it. So for thread, I use a regular kind of thread. Let me see what I've got here in my, oh my goodness, in my big, this is where I make all of my, this is where all the mermaid magic happens, is right here. Disguising goggles. You know who actually has a really good solution for that, though? Let me just find this thread first, and then I'm going to answer that. So this is the thread that I use. I don't know if you can see that. It's polyester. Come on, focus. I believe. There you go. And it's just regular. You don't want thread that's going to break when you pull on it. But it's mostly in the kind of stitch that you use. A lot of mermaids will use a zigzag stitch, and I use one that goes 2 forward, 1 back. Is it, or is it 3 and 3? I can't remember now, but it's like a triple stitch, and so it goes tack, 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 and it goes up and down and up and down, and that's why I can really like rip on it, and it isn't gonna have. I haven't had a problem with it yet, so knock on wood, that stays the same. Disguising goggles. So goggles come in a lot of different styles these days. I have 2 kinds of goggles. I find that there are, if you want to disguise them for yourself, that's probably okay. Most people will prefer, if you're going to do a paid gig, they'll prefer for you to do no goggles and no glasses, just plain as is. Hey, Martin! Nice! Welcome to the chat! Oh, yes. Okay. This is all kind of related to the goggles here. Saltwater pools. Okay, my first, was it my first or my second? I think it might have been my very, very first mermaid gig ever, was in a a slightly heated saltwater pool. Oh my gosh. It was like, I could see clearly underwater. It was so cool. It didn't hurt because people are like, oh, saltwater, that's got a sting. Well, your tears are saltwater, right? I mean, that's what that is there. So, no, it felt amazing. It was so good. If I could swim there again, sometimes I fantasize about calling them up and being like, hey, can I use your pool, please? Oh, that was such a magical day too, though. But so far as goggles go, they're the kinds that just really look like goggles. They're like really, that's a goggle on my face, you know? I'm trying to think of this person's name right now. Oh my gosh. If you're in the mermaid community and you know them, they have a purple and black tail, and I think it's latex, and a bit of a body, like I think it comes up like a little bit higher, and the gloves with the finger pieces, and then they also have really crazy cool like decorative goggles. Like they took a pair of like plain, whoa, these look gross. Sorry guys. I really need a new pair, okay? But I usually wear just clear ones when I swim. That's usually my option for when I'm in the pool and I'm swimming. But you could get creative. Use that E6000 glue on some pieces. I mean, I wouldn't sew anything, like don't like sew onto the plastic, but you could probably glue onto it. But yeah, that's gonna be a guess and test. It's not something I've ever really tried because I'm just really used to swimming. No, it's not Faith. Who is it? I feel so stupid that I can't remember this person's name. They came to my very first mermaid meetup that I ever did, and I feel really bad, and they were so nice, and I just feel so stupid. Really, Courtney? Ugh. Okay, anyways, short, like, darker brown hair. Anyways, it'll come to me or it won't. I'm sorry in advance. And sorry that I keep touching my nose. I've got allergies and everything's itchy and it's just horrible. Anyways, so that was that. Where did I get to? Disguising. Oh, so you can't see without your prescription. Okay, well, you know what? I wouldn't worry about it too much then. Just like, yeah. Is it a situation that you can't wear contact lenses as well? Or are you saying that you need to wear the goggles because you're wearing the contact lens? I'm not sure. But if that's the case, then you could, you know who also is very clever. The other Vancouver mermaid, Mermaid Lulu from Mermaids International. Mermaids International, yes. What she does, and I thought that this was just so cool. She has her goggles, she whips them out like they come out of like a holster, I swear, so fast, I didn't even see it happen. She pops them on, when she's under the water, she goes about her business. She'll kind of turn away from the kids for a second, like they're kind of milling. She pops them back off, she kind of wraps them around her arm like this, and she'll just be kind of, like it's a bracelet or something. I'm telling you, it was really classy, and it just happened so fast. I was like, wow. That's kind of clever because then you get the best of both worlds. You can be cruising around, having a good time, doing your thing, and then you just pop them off when you come up. So if you've got people taking photos or whatever, and it all kind of works. So, okay. Here we go. Where did we get to? Oh my gosh. There's so much. I'm sorry. Ah! Okay, if you like sewing, you should do quilting with mermaids. Ooh, wouldn't that be fun? I honestly, my sewing skills only are for this. I am really not very good at, I'm good at sewing mermaid tails. I really pride myself in making a really good quality, lasting, I swim in these weekly, and I really pride myself in making something really quality, but I don't know how good I would be at actually sewing, clothes or, a quilt, or I don't know, I don't trust myself enough for that. Yes, latex allergies are a thing, so that's why there was a time when people were making a lot of latex tails out of that Alex Plus stuff, and there was a whole other kind of latex going around too, but people have latex allergies, so if you are planning on doing this professionally, I would really, really suggest fabric like mine or silicone, because that way you're not like, oh, by the way, if you're allergic, it's kind of like, wearing a necklace of peanuts or something and being like, oh, hey, you just gotta be a bit careful. But that was the fad. That was for a while there. I think it was probably in 2014 or 15 or something. Everybody was all about the latex tails. Everybody wanted to try it and do it. But now everyone's really into the silicone, and I always think maybe one day I would try it too. But I like the fabric because it allows me a different level of creativity. I also live, in a rainforest here. It's just the weather's not. I'm never going to cure silicone unless I have an actual garage ventilated heated space, so that's part of that, which kind of sucks. Okay, here we go. How to hide the tail line. Now do you mean the waist? Oh, hang on. How to hide the tail line. Yeah, do you mean the line that comes around here, or do you mean the seam that runs down the side? Because those are two kind of issues, and I can give you thoughts on both of them. I'm going to be on until 9, just as a heads up. So any questions I don't get to answering tonight, I actually have my little notepad here, and I will, of course, answer them next week. What am I doing? Okay, so if you're trying fabric, okay, hang on a second. Okay. I have tried to do a blended waist with my tails. The tail fail video, the disastrous monstrosity tail that I made, that was just a huge fail, but what are you gonna do? I had tried to do a blended waist on that. Now, I'm of two minds with blended waists. Either you do it and you go all out and you make that sucker high, so you give yourself a lot of room to blend, or you embrace the fact that you're half and half. I have chosen that I would rather be really obvious about the fact that it is a tail start point and end point versus having a blended waist, because it does not look as good on one of these kinds of tails. So for silicone, it's going to be different because you can, of course, it can be a little more see-through so it blends in with your skin, but no matter what, you're going to have a bit of a difference. You're going to have obviously your skin and then obviously silicone. So it's also going to depend on your tail maker and how talented they are at doing a blended waisted line. I've seen the Merbella tails. Oh my gosh, have you guys seen those? When Raina first got hers and she was just out there, she took a couple pictures, she's like, oh yeah, and P.S. there's no filter, it's no Photoshop. Just about died on the spot. It's crazy. So amazingly talented. Okay. Yes, my friend just came back from Mexico, and oh my goodness, she got to swim in some of the most clear, pristine, beautiful, like, fish everywhere, and she's going, they had their GoPro, and I was so jealous. Like, I should have sent her down with a mermaid tail just to film it. I just would have been so cool. Okay, I'm totally losing my spot, so I really hope I haven't missed anybody. Where did I get to? Oh, for the line down the side, if you're going to try and hide your seam down the line, I suggest that you sew your fabric together first, and when you paint, you actually paint the scales over top so that you actually continue the pattern all the way around. And then what I also did for this one was I actually did a lot more sequins and a lot more of the little encrusted little gemmies and those kinds of things to try and disguise it a little bit more. I just kind of embraced the fact. Honestly, I've been doing this in these tails in this painted tail now, so I've been doing it overall for 10 years and in these for about, 6. I just hit my 6-year anniversary actually. And I've not ever had a kid come up to me and be like, there's a seam in your tail! I've never had that happen. I just, like, if you believe it, they believe it. So that's my usual, if you believe in you, then they believe in you. Okay. Here we go. Silicone tails. Yeah, silicone tails are really gorgeous. I do have to agree. It is a different experience for everyone. I prefer the sewing because this is gonna get nostalgic here. When I was a little girl, I used to spend my summers at my grandmother's, and my Oma is, well, she's still with us, but when I say was, so she's not passed away, but was a very talented seamstress and used to make these beautiful dresses and gowns. And I used to sit, while she was working, I would sit under her cutting table, which was like one of these big tables, and for me it's just really nostalgic to hear the sewing machine and to know that, like, maybe I make her a little bit proud that I can sew too, kind of a thing. So I think I'll probably always sew just because it makes me feel good. So okay, so where did I swim with contacts? Do you swim and can you open your eyes? Okay, so I've heard mixed reviews about swimming with contact lenses. Some people say that, oh yeah, it's not a problem and they stay in and it's fine. For me, I worry that you might get it could be a bacteria issue. If you did those like one-use contact lenses, maybe that's an option, but I've also heard that they slip out of your eyes underwater, and I don't know if that's true or not. So, I mean, maybe one day I'll try it because I do have some single use. I can see well enough. I can't see you guys now, but I can make out shapes enough that I don't crash into anything. Excuse me. So, but yeah, that might be, and you might, like, I would probably be less inclined to say open your eyes underwater with them, and it might be a different sensation wearing contact lenses while swimming. So if you're able to get like a trial of contact lenses from like your optometrist or something and be like, hey, I just want to try this out, see if it works, maybe that's an option, you know. I know there's companies out there that have sold contacts that supposedly help you see underwater, but I don't know how much I believe in that. I mean, basically, to be able to see underwater, your pupil has to constrict, and so that's why the brighter the pool area that you're in, the easier it is to see. And a fun trick, and it doesn't work for everybody, and it does take some practice, a fun trick to do, one of the pools I used to swim in had big lights above it. Underwater, I would lay down, upside down, to blow bubble rings, and if I was right underneath a light, I would look straight up and I could actually see the rings that I was blowing. So that's a fun thing to try. Okay, contacts. Yes, I do make mermaid jewelry as well. I used to have some of it for sale. Yes, that's another one I heard. That the contact lenses might get stuck to your eyes. So yeah, I would seek professional advice on that one. I've never tried it, so I would seek. Thank you. I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce it right. It's Latou's belly dancers, but thank you so much for that one. But yes, I make jewelry as well. So this was one I wore last night, and yeah, pretty jewelry. I do like making jewelry. I'm hoping to do a couple of videos talking about mermaid jewelry and the kind of. We're just gonna close that. There we go. And that kind of thing. But I love to make jewelry. You know who also makes? I don't think she has an Etsy up. But Mermaid Ripple, she's the another Vancouver mermaid, and she makes some beautiful pieces. I mean, mind blasting. I'm hoping that I'm gonna save up and I'd like to buy a piece of hers, and then maybe I can show you guys one day. But it's so beautiful. Okay, so we got the thing. And and Mermaid Rhonda, you also mentioned losing them. Losing the contact lenses. That's good. Yes, I love Merbella. So awesome. Mermaiding and sailing together. Okay, yeah, that is definitely fun. Again, be safe. I did my very first like public paid gig that I ever did was at a boat show, and I had to pose on, and it was raining, by the way. Okay, so I had to do this in my tail, and it was really tight at the time, and it was really cold, and it was raining, and I'm slipping and sliding around on this boat, and there's like this like tiny little ledge, so I'm sitting like perched on I swear like this much of a ledge, putting on my tail, and then I have to like shimmy out onto the thing. But they got a couple of shots of me from way from a distance, and it looked so awesome, but it was a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of thinking I'm gonna fall into the water and it's not gonna be good, guys. Okay, Mermania, I really want to go. It's gonna have to happen one of these days. I gotta start saving up or something. I don't know. Ideally, my goal was to go for next year, but I don't know how well it's gonna work. You like my mermaid music box? Thank you. Hang on one second. So for Fernando, I know a bit of French, and I also know a bit of German. So the first language I kind of heard at home with my grandmother and my mom and stuff was German, and French was something I was in French immersion for in school, and of course my husband's from Montreal, so there's a little bit of French there. Am I gonna speak any for you right now? No, because I'm a huge chicken and I don't want to make a mistake and have it recorded for all eternity on here. So there you go. This, my music box, I can show you if you want to see it. This is a Little Mermaid music box. My uncle got this for me many, many years ago, and on the inside it plays. Hang on. This is really old. This is from 1993, I think. 95. Yeah, so anyways. A few sad memories, but I still love it. With a girl and a mermaid. Okay, I want to set sail with a... Hey, thank you, Martin. Yeah, yeah. Spanish? No, I don't speak any Spanish. I kind of wish I did. That's gonna... Oh my gosh! I have to wrap this up, you guys! Okay. Alright. I had things I had to tell you guys before I go. Okay, so tomorrow, I think, is the 31st. It is the last day that you will be able to sign up for my Patreon in order to potentially win a spandex mermaid tail. So not one fully painted, but one of my spandex ones with sequins and such like that. So I will include a link really quick. If I can find it. I'll pop that in here. So this is something I'm doing just for my patrons on Patreon. So you're able to contribute and sign up for that. I mean, I really appreciate all the support that I get from those guys is just insane. I appreciate it so much, and not gonna get emotional about it, I swear I'm not. But I had met a goal, and so oh, hi Mermaid Java! Yeah, fin smash, that's cute. But yeah, so check that out. That's ending tomorrow, so if you're seeing this later, I'm sorry. But there will be another one. Once I hit my next milestone, I will be doing a giveaway for one of these fully painted, customized to your measurements and everything on there. Thank you for following me on Patreon. You guys on hand? Yes, Eric does dress up sometimes. So we had him dress up as a pirate once, which was quite fun. Any other questions I get from now until the end, when I wrap this up, I'm going to write down and I'm going to save for next week's video. The one thing I didn't get to is Ava. I'm so sorry if you're watching this. I didn't actually cover any more details about the Velcro in the tail. So if you're seeing this at the end, please feel free to leave me a comment. We can get in touch and maybe I can give you some more information there. And if you guys yeah, I'm gonna do another video, full video on Velcro and sewing that in and how I make this the way that I do, but that's gonna come a little bit later on. But yes, so I'm so sorry that I missed that today, but now I'm running out of time and I really want to eat some food because I'm really hungry. Okay, so I talked about the tail giveaway. That's happening. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram. I am Vancouver Mermaid on Instagram and on Twitter. That's where you're going to get all the updates. I'm Courtney Mermaid on Twitter. That's where I let people know like when it's going to be happening. So far as I know, next Tuesday is still a go, 8 p.m. Pacific. Will be my next live stream. I really wish I could do these at a bit of a different time because I know the majority of you guys are actually in a different time zone than me, so it's a little bit awkward because it's 9 p.m. right now for me, but, you know, anyways. A huge thank you to all my patrons and a huge thank you to all you guys for watching. You guys have made this really a lot of fun for me. I'm really enjoying doing these live streams and it's been really cool. And so if you have any questions or anything else that I haven't answered in this video, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And it's 11 a.m. by you, right? So it's like, it's totally crazy. I don't know. I'm gonna try and find a better time. I swear. But yeah, that is where I'm going to leave this. Was there anything else I had to say to you guys? No. Oh, how do I pee? Hey, that's not an appropriate question. I don't. You know what sucks? I had to be in Goldfish for like was it 2 or 3 hours? It was like 2.5 hours. And it was blazing summer, okay? And there I am, I've got my water bottle and I'm just chugging and I'm thinking, if this boat doesn't dock soon, I'm gonna pee my pants. I am having a serious problem. It was so insane. I'm telling you, I was saying goodbye to the kids and the kids want to like sit on your lap and stuff and I'm like, this is how I'm gonna die. This is it. This isn't gonna end well. Okay. Enough with the stories. If you guys want to hear more of my stories, let me know and I can do a video or we can talk about it next week. But yeah, so that's everything for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I do a lot of mermaid fun stuff on my channel. Swimming videos, tutorials, mermaid school. Oh my gosh, I do unboxings. I got a toy unboxing that I'm going to be doing for a Little Mermaid Lego playset that I got, and a lot of other like collection videos and art. I do art on this channel. So thank you so much for coming out. Oh, I'm so happy you enjoy my live streams, and I will see you next week, my lovelies. And okay, I go. Okay, bye guys.